ESPN Tournament Challenge app.
Get those brackets ready. Let's go to that tournament, the one we just talked about. Two legendary coaches who resurrected their programs, essentially, Rick Pitino and John Calipari. Coach Seth Greenberg back here with us. Who has had the more impressive season? Is it Cal at Arkansas or Pitino at St. John's?
It's like splitting hairs because both of them did just incredible jobs with their basketball teams. The only reason I would say Cal is because he didn't have Zuby Ejiofor returning. Ejiofor, Player of the Year in the Big East. And the road to the championship game in the SEC, not actually the tournament, but just the SEC in general. The SEC was a much more demanding conference, and John Calipari did it with a freshman backcourt. I think it's really hard to win with young players. Rick Pitino did it with transfers that had greater experience at that level. So splitting hairs, both did a great job, but I'd say slightly Cal. Also the non-conference wins that he had, I think were significant as well.
Coach is nuts. Yeah, you're nuts. You got to stop that. You got to stop. I mean, don't get
New York Homer.
First of all,
you're a New York Homer.
Listen. Stop that nonsense, okay? Listen, we can't be doing this. This is college basketball. There's freshmen balling all the time. It's been that way for years. And the bottom line is Darius Acuff ain't no typical freshman. I mean, you look at what he's doing. The first SEC player to lead the league in scoring and assists since Pete Maravich, and you coming to me about freshmen and it's hard to have freshmen? Stop that. This brother's special.
Rick Pitino's favorite player of all time, Zuby Ejiofor.
Listen. I got that, but you look at you look at Zuby Ejiofor. I mean, this brother can play against you, but who do you have around him? I mean, you can name some of the players. Most of the country don't know them. Everybody knows about Acuff. And so when you look at back-to-back regular season and conference championships, Rick Pitino first.
We're not talking about last year.
I'm just saying to you, when we thinking about most impressive this year, well, what Rick Pitino has done at St. John. Last time we saw them in the NCAA tournament. Remember how ugly this game was? They played against each other. Arkansas beat them. They shot 4 of 41 from three-point range combined. It was one of the ugliest games we've seen in history, okay? We know that St. John's got some making up to do with that, but the bottom line is this. You look at Rick Pitino, you don't see these all-world players at St. John's, but you damn sure see them wherever John Calipari is, and that goes a long way. What Rick Pitino has done for the St. John Red Storm cannot say enough. Definitely, his season is more impressive, no doubt, and we saw what he did to UConn.
It's not like Rick Pitino didn't spend money on his roster either, though. I mean, like Rick Pitino, I mean, his boy Rapoli, he wasn't going in to just handing out $100 bills. He was going to get dudes.
The same players?
Dylan Mitchell's
Are we talking about anybody?
Well, wait a second.
Are we talking about anybody on St. John's the way we talking about Acuff?
Well, no, Acuff is different, but the rest of the complimenting group are a bunch of really, really good role players. A couple of them might play in the NBA. You know, I mean, like Malik Thomas will play in the NBA.
Really good role players.
But
so I'm giving you Arkansas's roster, and you giving me really good role players on St. John's.
All I got to say to you, I love Cal.
Dylan Mitchell.
He's a family friend.
Dylan Mitchell's a monster. Sellers knocks down jumpers. Jackson was a McDonald's All-American. I mean, they have some dudes. But Rick is brilliant. You got to tip your hat to Cal, though.
I agree. Cal's done a great job, but he did coach in the SEC at Kentucky for a long time. He's very familiar with that conference. Pitino has done it in back-to-back years and resurrected St. John's to nothing. Okay, coming up, we're going to get some Final Four picks in. Maybe we'll even put a friendly wager on.
Forward with exploring 2 new expansion teams exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle, and that will be for the 2028-29 season. This first vote is expected to be a formality that it will then allow the league to proceed with bids. And industry executives tell me that they're looking at bids in the range of $7 to $10 billion for both of these franchises in Seattle and Las Vegas. But this is going to be a multi-step process. The first one is getting the permission to go explore it, gathering the bids, and over the course of the next several months, Adam Silver will continue his dialogue with the owners. And then at that point, a final vote before the end of 2026, the calendar year of 2026, a final vote to approve the expansion to 32 teams. And so there's a lot to sift through for owners right now, right? Because you go from 1/30th share in the league to 1/32nd. But if it makes sense financially, if you can get to that 7 to 10 billion per team range, that could make it enticing it's really become a question, from my understanding, when, not if, there will be expansion. And so we're going to know this calendar year, but a very important vote, a formality vote coming up next week.
Can I ask a question really quick?
Well,
is it a for sure 2 teams, or is there a chance only one gets expanded?
2 teams, so 32-team league, and that means 1 team in the Western Conference. So these 2 teams, Vegas and Seattle, would be Western Conference teams. That means 1 team in the West would move east. My understanding is there's a lean toward Minnesota, but it would be, as of right now, teams expect that to be either Minnesota or Memphis going to the east.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Well, I was getting ready to go there. You could definitely move Memphis to the Eastern Conference. New Orleans is another possibility, or just like Minnesota is. But I will tell you this. Las Vegas definitely needs to have a team. You can't have a Major League Baseball team heading there with an NFL team already there and don't have an NBA team there. I know everybody think about sports gaming and all of that stuff, and years ago it was unimaginable, but times clearly have changed, and it is what it is. So definitely Vegas is likely, and it comes down to this. Seattle is a great sports town. Who deserves a team. The city officials messed it up by losing the team years ago to Oklahoma City, but that wasn't the fault of the citizens there. That's a fantastic sports town. Obviously, we saw a lot of that during the NFL season and even with the Mariners last year in Major League Baseball. So you have that going on. But Shams and Wendy, I'd like to throw this out too. You know what? It's a damn shame this team is on the outside looking in, because I got to tell you something. Nashville is a growing city. A lot of people love Nashville, okay? And, you know, obviously they're a very successful city right now. They are a thriving city in the United States of America. And so when you look at them, I'm certainly not getting on and advocating that Memphis loses a team, because I don't want that to happen to that city. But in the same breath, you know, you wonder about Nashville, comparing that to Seattle, and wondering what kind of possibilities may present itself in that regard. I don't think that will happen. Shams, you're right on the money in terms of Seattle and Las Vegas. But I have found myself thinking about Nashville quite often, because you always hear Nashville's name coming up when people talk about surprise sleeper cities that everybody should be looking at these days.
Yeah, and the focus being on Seattle and Las Vegas, because the NBA and people in the business world and the financial world, they expect Seattle and Las Vegas would immediately jump to the top 8 to 10 in revenue-generating teams in the NBA if they're installed in 2028-29 season. And so it's really just going to come down to dollars and cents. As Stephen A. knows very, very well, between now and the next several months, Adam Silver, the league office, they're going to get a ton of bids on both of these teams. And if you can get Las Vegas potentially up to 9-10 billion, Seattle in that 7-8 range, does that,
you can get them.
At that point, it becomes financially feasible for everyone to move forward.
Wendy, go ahead.
I don't think anybody will hesitate to throw out $7 billion for Vegas.
This is there's going to be procedures here, and we're in a time of global uncertainty, so nothing is 100% certain. But what Shams has reported is absolutely a momentum. If you are a Seattle Supersonics fan, you can truly, for the first time in a long time, believe that your team is probably going to be coming back. Probably. But it's a procedure. But I will say that there's going to be a couple of incredible battles that are coming up. One, there are many, many groups that have been preparing for this and are going to aggressively attack. You are going to have a battle royale to be the one to buy this team. This is really going to come down to, I think, not just a bidding war, but who the NBA wants to partner with. There's going to be so many groups who want to get into these 2 cities. Secondly, a huge battle for who gets to move. You think Minnesota's just going to get it and walk away? Oh, no. There's going to be an all-out brawl between Minnesota, Memphis, and New Orleans to move east, and there'll probably be some teams farther west saying, I'm going to hop over them. That's going to be a brawl for it all. Number 3, there's going to be an expansion draft, and I promise you the details of that expansion draft, people are going to be pulling each other's hair out in the behind the scenes about how that potentially will come down. And one thing I'll say, Stephen A., there is no appetite right now for relocation in the league. There are some teams that you could argue you need to relocate, but that is not happening.
Correct.
And because of that, Memphis has the ability to block Nashville, as far as I understand. So your point on Nashville is good, but Memphis can block it, just like years ago Dr. Buss and Donald Sterling blocked Orange County for the Sacramento Kings move.
I reported on that months ago. Memphis can definitely block that, and they wouldn't hesitate to do so. They don't want Nashville to have a team. And Nashville really doesn't want to get in the way, believe it or not, in terms of the governor and all this to figure out how I know that stuff, guys. But in the end, here's what it comes down to. Shams, Wendy, the $10 billion price tag is not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I promise you. Both teams, they'll get the $10 billion from each.
Both teams, Stephen
Walk it down. And remember,
teams.
Shay, that's split. Both teams.
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
each. They're expecting 7 to 10 billion per team. You're saying 10-10?
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm at my vote.
lean towards
That's what I'm saying.
pending global events. I would lean towards Stephen.
Pending global event.
Well, listen, Stephen.
Pending
I'm
global
not
event.
trying to break
the
news
10
here,
billion.
but if it
The
gets
10
to
billion
10
will
and
not
10,
be a problem.
The expansion
10 and
is
10.
going to be happening.
10 and 10. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. 10 billion.
Stephen, who are your
Walk it down.
sources?
Okay, we'll do this in the break. We got to go. Coming up here on First Take, legendary coaches John Calipari and Rick Pitino both won their conference tournament heading into the big dance. Who, though, has been more impressive, St. John's or Arkansas? More First Take after this.